They just expected that that's how we do. That's how difficult these decisions are. So until we have politics of issues and judges and the courts are judged on the basis of the decision, it was very, very, very difficult. But there was in that decision, we gave everything, the documentation to the university so that the debates could continue. But on Twitter, I remember there was somebody who wrote in his tweets, and what he said was discussing the Judicial Training Institute, because his post was, he told me, from today you are the chief injustice. After that decision, so we went to Judicial Training Institute to ask ourselves, why are judges called justices? What that categorization where you can be involved in gross injustice. The person who said that of me, of course, didn't think that the petition, that presidential decision was just. So he called me the chief injustice. And in Kenya, everybody has forgotten that we were 6 of us. It's me all the time, and it goes on and on. If I say anything, they tell me, even the decision itself is called quicking, because we read it in the 10 minutes to give the decision and said we will give the reason later. So people cannot take interested in the reason. So it's called a quickie these days. So the last thing I wanted to comment on as part of the experience and is independence of the judiciary. Again, in a country like Kenya, where the politics are organized on basis of division, race, gender, ethnicity, religion, generation, and so forth. In my case, my greatest challenge to judicial independence and decisional independence was my community, the Kapa community, because they started sending representatives, self-appointed pastors, self-appointed this and that. I will come to the chambers, I will give them tea, and they always ask some question like, why are you building courts in these far-flung areas? That is now the Somali area, marginalized areas. And I would explain to them. Then they'll come again. Oh, Kitui, yes, Kitui where I come from, no new court was built, but they built another story, the court. So they said, why are you building this? We need a bigger court. And apparently they didn't even have land where that big court would be built. They said, what about Machakos? What about Maudhui? So after a long time, I was just fed up with them. They drank too much tea, and there was no progress, in this discussion. So I told them, I'm a chief justice of all Kenyans, so we're not going to have this discussion. So they stood up and they told me, if you get into trouble, don't come to us. So I told them, I'll go to the Somalis and Turkanas, that's where I build courts. Give me the protection. So the independence of the judiciary, we tend to focus on the executive, corporate interests, parliament, civil society. But we forget that there are even insidious questions. I know a lot of my colleagues who got into trouble, very reproductive, but their spouses who are taking bribes on their behalf, known to them, or friends, or members of the family, and so forth. So it's it's a very difficult, you know, task. But for me, and this is something that I always reiterate. We worked as a team. It wasn't me. A lot of the speeches that are written here we discussed with the chief of staff, who was a brilliant guy. He knew when I was angry and I wanted to shoot, in the speech.
Dar es Salaam, in the 60s, 70s was a hotbed, of ideological, political debates, hot debates, and of course they must have left an impact on any alumni, including we. And I think he was also an invitee of Professor Shirja, the fifth Kigoda of Mwalimu Nyerere. In his own admission, some Tanzanians would not admit, but he admitted he had the virus of Chazinduliwa. The young generation need to take a leaf from that. But really, he's been very close to Tanzania, to the judiciary of Tanzania. He was our guest. He was received by the president at the law day here in Tanzania expressly. The president asked me to invite him on that occasion. He addressed the WEWE Commission in a closed session to share his contributions. We don't know what we discussed in that closed session, but he shared his experiences in constitutional building with the WEWE Commission. He was the guest at the annual Judges Conference in Arusha when we were shaping our own position in the judiciary, to put an input in the constitutional review process. So he's been really very close to us. But I want to say two things. One is about the Chief Justice. There is no universal model which is acceptable in all countries on the appointment of the Chief Justice. They can range from a college of cardinals to handpicking by Governor General worldwide. But we all know the process that my colleague went through under the new Kenyan Constitution. Very, very intensive scrutiny, open, transparent, competitive, merit-based process in which public participated directly in that process. So this is one of the pluses really of the progressive constitution in Kenya, which really allowed the Judicial Service Commission, which the Judicial Commission helped to shape. So he went through that process. So he entered office really with a track record of competencies, and both Guy and Jill had mentioned those processes from academia, from human rights, from the Legal Aid Council, civil society leadership. Of course, of singular note was that he remained a fervent advocate of constitutionalism, which he was in the front line with others, really in the struggle for a new Kenyan constitution over 4 decades. So you have somebody with a bundle of impressive credentials taking over as the Chief Justice of Kenya.
Ili kwa wa kwanza kupata habari zetu, tafadhali usisahau kusubscribe, like na kucomment.